All right, what's up, y'all? Hope you guys are ready to roll. Get right into it. Because I wish I was. Because apparently, man, this thing is so annoying. I have to like redo all of my screen. I don't know what's up with this laptop. This thing sucks. I have to do everything every single time. I'm like ready to go, and then I'm like, oh, none of this OBS streaming thing works the way it usually does. Sick. All right. Okay. Gotta do all of this. All right. Now we're good to go. Boom. Okay, guys, what's up? Introduction. Hi, love you guys, etc. We have CPI here in a few minutes. So, what can we really expect out of this movement? Let me know in the chat what you have your eyes on, what you have set in stone. I think I have a couple things I'm curious about. Obviously, we saw extremely explosive movement to the upside here with Dow. You know, we see Dow finally, pump up to these levels, reject this 4-hour movement on March 10th. So you see some higher time frame action here, rejecting that zone. You can take a look at NASDAQ and where that trades into, kind of trading into a similar structure, trading all the way out over here. Meant to do that. And that. And then, so we trade up into this range as well as we start seeing it reject. But at the moment, if we're looking at price action here, NQ chilling, look like it's about to take out the highs that we see right here, so those Asian session highs. Meanwhile, Dow Jones looks a little bit more appetizing over here for a possible shakeout. I don't know what you guys think here, but we do see, right, obviously really massive movement. However, the pump starts from way down here. The lower time frame movement, we kind of get a bit more of this push way up into this range. So I could see sells from indices, especially Dow up here, taking out London highs, furthering beyond Tokyo highs, and trading into this little area. So it's interesting. It's an interesting zone. I wouldn't say it's a 10 out of 10 trade, but interesting enough for sure. With CPI, you have a ton of volatility, but remember, you are going against momentum. So would you put it all on the line right there? So I'm not gonna just have anything preset. I want to just kind of see how everything moves, and go from here. But I mean, we see NQ take out these highs, and we see, all right, so that's exactly what I wanted to see. And then yeah, this would have played out pretty perfect. This is a trade I really should have been ready for, but to be honest, with just travel and shit, and getting everything set up with you guys, this just took me too long to get there, and I didn't want to force the trade. But if you did take the setup, then you're sitting in some pretty good profits. The stop would have been maybe 40 points or so. Market's dropping 70, so almost a 2R right now. If you did short out of this area up here, then definitely move your stop loss to entry. No reason to have any more risk on the table, in my opinion. And then, let's see how the market keeps moving. This might set us up for a different trade, and that would be okay. So yeah, everything was quick. This is more of an issue for, what am I saying? This is my, for me, this is definitely something that I'm like, I just wasn't really ready. Got to sell an NQ on the 30-minute, 25, 570. Okay, way up there. You guys are looking at oil buys. Some of you are already longing gold. Cool. Why I'm more bearish? Yeah, for sure. Any of you guys take it? Any of you guys short Dow already? Let me know. Let me know. All right, so cool. that's doing that. I'm gonna actually just go one screen. I'm not really liking how this looks with two screens right now. The split screen, at least on laptop, is not my favorite. So with this kind of movement, and we have a liquidity capture here, right? The 1 minute takes out London, and then it starts to trade into the kind of the peak of New York high here. With this kind of liquidity capture, this could create a shakeout setup. So if we do work our way further down, we might be working our way into here. If we build up some demand, I'm not opposed to shorting again. So that's a possibility. That's a possibility here. So I'll keep my eye open. I'll set an alert in case we kind of climb up again. And Q, I don't really have much. I don't have it up right now. I don't have it. I don't really have anything I like. We do have the nice push down to here for NQ, but we would have to drop substantially to kind of get into that area. And then Dow also has that spike down before the rally. This trade yesterday that we took here for New York session that happened actually triggered like maybe 15 minutes after we were done having our session. So if you were on yesterday's session, profitable one. But this was another trade that ran an extraordinary amount. We're in this season right now. We're just kicking things off where the buys in the right place, especially in kind of these 5-minute, 15-minute structure pullbacks, those are going to give you some pretty massive moves. So yeah, I mean it's looking pretty good right now. If we let's just put this aside. If we take a look at this, in my opinion, the next buy setup really is sitting way down here. So it's not necessarily a sense of urgency to break this down and go into this. I kind of want to look at a couple other assets before we dive into this. So cool. And then wow, the micro really tanked here with Dow when the mini did not have that kind of move. So very interesting on how that moved there. Okay, and then so let's take a look at metals, right? Metals here pushing higher. It's had a pretty bullish movement for the day. Okay. So different metals and indices moving a little different today. We're seeing metals work their way up. ¿Qué tal, Cesar? We're seeing metals work their way up into the zones where I believe the market's already rejected. So I'm not necessarily in a rush or really looking to trade anything here. I think gold pokes up here, but it's really, 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 really small. So I'm not really going for much here with gold for now. If gold starts to hold structure up here, then I actually like the buys potentially. Gold and silver moving pretty similar, but take a look at this, right? So we have a clean push down with gold. Gold trades right into these lows over here. This kind of looks like equal lows possible. It kind of looks like liquidity over here. So yes, we see a nice push down, and that's exactly where the market rejects from. But I didn't love that. But now that we've done that, and you can kind of dig into a bit cleaner price action over here, we see the market try to create a higher high. Not quite there. So we work our way back down to these order blocks right here. So the market then rejects this order block. I wouldn't say we've mitigated. I think we just saw a bounce out of these cells, and that's how we saw the market move forward. So I am still open to buy positions here. And honestly, if you wanted the conservative entry, then you could look to take it over here. But with this imbalance over here, I actually like buys below this as well. So this could be a setup where you might split your entry. You take some sort of risk up here and some sort of risk down here. I do think, especially because we've seen support around here often, I think we can trade down into these zones. So somewhere over here, I think we could see a buy, especially if we kind of keep holding structure over here. Maybe we can see a buy with gold. So, but I want to kind of let this thing prove that it's going to stay bullish. Otherwise, this is right now just a theory. So this isn't, I'm not committed to this yet. And then if you prefer being in the market, like having a higher probability of being in the market, then you're looking at a higher entry, bigger stop. And so you want to make sure that, okay, is this worth the trade? Is this worth, getting into taking? So I would be pursuing a trade like this, assuming that structure stays pretty solid over here. So yeah, this is what I'm currently, this is a scenario. All right, scenario, but further confirmation is required. So we'll stay tuned to this. I'll have some alerts if we start to work our way down. But that's what I got on gold. You got in Dow. Okay, Drevis got it on Dow. Alright, so we're seeing some bearish movement. A little bit there. So, alright. We have NAS. Big spike up. Works its way immediately back down. So shakeout scenarios are possible across the board. NQ, Dow, S&P. So I do want to see what this looks like. What we've been sitting down here now for a good 8 minutes or so, 7-8 minutes. So we're kind of trading down here. This is definitely luring in the break and retest buyers. So retail buyers, joining the party over here. So this is just signature. Let's move this over here. So right now, break and retest buyers, incentivized. And this is liquidity building up. And this is happening across the board. So you have it here. You have it happening here. Not as much though, right? Where it's not climbing as fast. So I do think that we're in a kind of a better spot here. And look at how we've seen the market reject in here pretty consistently. So I am a little bit more intrigued for sells around this zone. Okay. So we're seeing it play out like this. If the market continues like this, and let's say NQ climbs up a bit faster, then then Dow sells. Makes sense. So we'll see. It does look like NQ is kind of pushing up a bit more quickly. So for now, I'm curious. I'm interested, and I'm almost convinced. Like right now, Mike Oil. Okay, stop yelling at me, man. Goddamn. He's like, dude, I'm trying to make you money, bro. God, how dare you be so useful. Alright, so we saw a sweep of liquidity, the buildup for quite a bit of time. CPI pushes down. That is a shakeout. That is valid. And your clamor here has been duly noted. And this is what I get for not checking the chat. Being a bum. So the buy was here. You guys probably got a better setup right there. This thing could definitely, honestly, make some moves. So I think we could at least trade way up to here, clearing out a lot of liquidity. Even taking a position where we're at now would still put me at a 3R. I'm going to see if we can get a little bit of a pullback. And then I'll go half R here. If we can go down a little bit lower, then we'll be cool. Appreciate the shout. All right, so from here, I'm going to take a smaller risk just so I'm in the game. And then, all right, cool. And then I have the rest of my position that I want to take. Let's say we just get a little lucky and we get another little push down. And I get tagged in over here. And then the RR is still legit. And then we're gravy. Confirm. Cool. All right. And honestly, these trades make sense. Oil kind of doing the opposite of what we would see, not just metals, but like indices do in this example. So right now, just building out more and more, getting a bit more context with Dow and NQ. Let's see, will NQ... So Dow, of all of these, Dow is definitely holding it down best. It's trading into New York Open right now. And actually, it's breaking below. Clean. All right. Yeah, because we started seeing the push right here a couple minutes before New York Open, so it looks pretty decent. I think I'm triggered in on oil now. The second position that I wanted. So now I'm averaged in nicely, where I'm okay with. Alright, got 11 contracts in here. I'm averaged in at right under 97.50, so 97.47. Here now I can kind of adjust the actual entry. My RR here is sitting well above a 4R, so let me move this. Why are you being weird? There we go. And then targets go to here, putting this trade at a 3.72R. Best case scenario, let's zoom out a little bit. And right now we saw the rejection of this order block here. The liquidity started to get swept actually a little bit earlier. Can this go lower? I think so. There's a possibility that this trade does go a notch lower, because right now we're rejecting the order block. So just even breaking these highs, I would be quick to kind of adjust my stop. And this zone here, I do think has some validity for reversals, so I'm open to this in case we do just pump up and then maybe it's just not enough steam and we go lower. Then we can definitely get a position. And honestly, trading like right out of this low looks super clean. So something like this, it's a much bigger stop required. You could even go for maybe stops right there. Let me just double check CL and see what I think about that on CL. They're identical. Okay, nothing too crazy over here. So yeah, looking at reversals around this area look good. We've seen the market kind of bounce out of this 96.50-ish, 96.40, 96.50. So if we do just kind of do the bare minimum here on oil, and in case this doesn't have enough gas in the tank, then I am ready for a lower zone, just in case. And then same thing goes, similar targets. Target obviously isn't as nice. I do think we could tighten up to stop a little bit here. But yeah, let's go to the small time frame. I know we're trading within very tiny zones here. With the market sweeping liquidity here, then I would tighten up my stop. Now that I'm averaged in here at 11 contracts, what you also can do is just if you are, let's say, trading here on TradingView, you can kind of just open up a fresh sell stop. What's going on here? Here we go. So then you're just working on one thing. Yeah, 11, not 111, 11 contracts, no exit, no stop. This is the position in itself that you're placing right there. So then you have yourself a sell stop right there. We got it where we want it. The market, this clearing liquidity over here, then I'm going to tighten my stop to here if we get that. So I can place a little alert here. Silver pushing down, gold starting to rebalance the New York Open. Indices definitely just worked its way down and now squeezing. So the shakeouts look more and more valid, in my opinion, for this play. And I'm gonna have my alert here. I want to be more prepared for something like this, so I'm gonna have this marked up for shorts. So I'm gonna think in 75. You know what? Let's go 72 here, and then if this wants to continue, we have the lows, these London lows here as good targets. Swept liquidity, I'm risk free right now. 96.26 is entry on lower zone. I'm a half hour shakeout because of the lower zone. Did it sweep liquidity? Where did it sweep liquidity? Or are you saying because it took out, it rebalanced and then pushed up here? I feel like we're still squeezing, so it can kind of go in both directions. Let me go 15-second. If we're talking about how the market has played out of this zone, then we did see the market play right into the order block right there. So it rejects here. This right clears liquidity, comes back up. This builds up retail sellers on this side, buyers on this side. Post new CPI, you see it push into the order block, come back in now, same thing is happening, more and more squeezing. So honestly, a big move is coming, whether it's going up or down. Conservative, if you want to play it conservative, I understand having your stops. I think I would understand having the stop here at 97.23. Considering it already rejected this block, the market basically has nothing else to really play out of. So if it's not going to go higher and it's going to go lower, then I don't really see it playing out of anything. Yeah, I don't know this. I would understand going already cutting your risk and kind of having less on the table. But if we do see the market push up here, then tightening, whether it's to here, here, or here, does make quite a bit of sense. So I'm going to keep mine like this for now. A sweep above this consolidation, a liquidity capture above that, for me is a green light for trade management. I think considering, and right now, right, 1 minute is still bearish. Everything is giving you lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. So, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if we get down to here, though. Not at all. So you got to really be mindful of where your bias goes. You don't want to convince yourself like that it has to go your way. Be prepared to lose. So give yourself the proper exposure financially, like with this trade. Understand the risk of the trade, what you're actually convicted on losing, and then from there it's a lot easier to just follow your system. So here, still popped up a little bit. Didn't quite crack that high. Let's look at CL. Same thing. Oh, this is just enticing, man. This is luring in the break and retest sellers. Heavy consolidation. That's a lot of retail sellers sitting there. You also have all of this. So it's, in my opinion, I think it's just a matter of when this clears. Is it going to be this round, or is it going to be the lower round? It's one or the other. Probability wise, like, that's kind of what we're dealing with here. You have the liquidity, and then you have the consolidation. Two different batches of retail sells here, just building up and building up. Okay, so with it taking out that right there, start adjusting, stop here. Now instead of having a 50-point stop, the stop is now sitting at about 24. Market is now definitely starting to pump. Big move. So I like how it's doing that. I'm now going my stop into profit. Let's see here. How are you guys feeling about this trade? What y'all think? There she goes. So yeah, no more risk on the play here. Over a 1 hour for me, as I have this going, have this set up. It could lose steam, so obviously there's no guarantees. Then don't go chasing nothing. You know what I mean? Don't go chasing nothing. All right. Oil opens in 4 minutes now. I had to double check one of these accounts. I don't remember what I needed to pass this one. And I don't think I set it up. Let's see. Hey, shout out to Sophia and Greg for getting funded yesterday. Legends. Let's go. And I think Oh man, you guys are awesome. Some of y'all are just doing too well, apparently. Y'all are too good for your own good. Crazy. Some of y'all making too much profit. You gotta chill out. Alright, let me log into this account. Gotta hit the max. Make sure I have my max. The consistency rule is such a scam sometimes. Not gonna lie. It's like, oh, you're too good at trading. Sorry, bro. For real. Too good for your own good, guys. All right, easy scaling. This right now is running into the liquidity, the trend line liquidity. So this is why I have my stop now just in profit, because at this point, there's no guarantee that it's going to crack through. It could, it very much so could. And we can, you know, if it breaks through here, I think there's a pretty good chance that we actually get up to the imbalance, and honestly probably ride this a little bit higher. But this also could be the point where it just builds more liquidity and goes even lower. So, okay, we have that there. And then let's look at everything else. So right now, after gold took out this liquidity, so let's look at this, right? Gold clears London session highs and trades into the Asian session open. So it trades right into here, plays off of these last points of supply, and then drops. Silver trades into equal highs. No, actually, silver breaks above this as well. So it takes out Asian highs and then dumps. So I'm curious if we end up getting a sell on gold. Gold here clears this, fills in balance. You see the classic, the signature shakeout also forming with gold, but the difference is right now we saw the opposite side of this trade with oil. So oil does a shakeout but already starts making its move, while now we're seeing retracements from gold, while we're getting, you know, good movement out of oil here. Alright, I think we're getting pretty close to taking out these highs. So if you went ahead and, you know, I guess just took the same trade that I took here, then you're sitting at a cool 2R just about right now. So this might be profits for y'all. And I'm going to do this because we're getting another nice little pump. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of trail the stop right under a 1R. And just in case this is just a liquidity capture and that's all the market wants to give us, then cool. We can at least collect something out of this type of movement. So we're seeing the break above the high. At this moment, this is where the market is going to either show its true signs. Is this bullish? Is this going to confirm demand? And all right, no, market's bullish. We're good to go. This could even become a second trade because we see this as a liquidity capture. Market may want to come back and buy here. If that's not the case and all this was, so if you are like, I'm going to take the highest probability trade, then your profit is here. You just go, okay, liquidity, all I wanted to do was sweep liquidity, I'm out, profit, done. So if that's your focus, is just collecting highest probability trades, even if they're more conservative exits, then boom, you're done. It's a wrap. And that's all it was. If you're a bit more ambitious for whatever the reasons may be, then you kind of let the market show its signs. Here, right now, it looks like, nope, all it wanted to do was entice some buyers, attract some buy stops off of the previous highs, this triggers that, and now it's working its way right back down. So right around this point where we have this previous level of resistance, this either functions as a good bounce and continuation, or we get the true signs of, nope, this was just a liquidity capture and the market wants to keep dropping. And if that's the case, that's actually okay, because then we still got to collect basically an extra trade out of this, and we're ready for what would be the lower entry. We already have that set up. So let me know what you guys, how you ended up approaching this trade. Maybe you stayed out, maybe you took it. Shout out to Michael for just giving the heads up on this one. European Union has declared they're in gasoline and oil shortage, and the strait was reclosed. So possible bullish. That's macro bullish. Micro, you know how it goes sometimes. It could short term be like that. Loki, forgot about CPI and missed this. I see what you were looking though for CL. Yep. He did. Hanging on. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Stayed out with the lower zone. What's up, Brandon? What's up, Kinder? Okay, I think I passed an account. Let me double check this joint. Oh yeah, we good. Dope. All right, so I think that one. Let's see where we're at. Did it close it? Yes, sir. Actually lagged on the close. Oh, did that push my consistency? I'm gonna be annoyed. That is gonna be very annoying. We'll see. I wonder if this holds. Okay. I know we were considering ideas on metals. So we saw oil climbing, gold climbing as well. It's pretty choppy. Independently, gold looks like it could be a decent one. Like, this is definitely luring in buyers. But if we were to choose between metals and indices, indices look like a much better setup. Look at how much this is working its way in. This is luring in so many buyers. It's so dead right now. We have New York open in 25 minutes. Yeah, this looks great. This looks great right now. And Q kind of chilling still up here at a higher zone. Yeah, I think Dow really looks good for me. Alright, looks like I haven't gotten an alert that oil has tagged me out, so let's see. What are you gonna do, pal? Ooh, got close. Got real close there, buddy. Alright, so that's it. Basically a 1R collected on this one. Gave up about an R on basically seeing whether we're going to run or not. And I kind of had a feeling just because we have that lower zone still. But the nice thing is this. We have seen the attempt to break. And honestly, I should have just taken profit. And the reason I bring this up is because this was the first failed attempt at structure. Every other structure point was very easy. Lower lows, lower highs. Like, everything was following structure exactly how, it's taught. And this was the first one that breaks through. So this really entices buyers. Like, oh, here we go. Break a structure, continuation, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of times when you get like the first signs of a break, that is where traders start to chase that. So This trade here, had I been, maybe, I don't know, maybe a little bit more detached or so, maybe that would have been the outcome. But just shy actually of a 1R on this trade. But we do have the lower setup as well that we're looking for. So I wouldn't take another trade here. Gonna let this thing, no mitigation because we didn't have a break above, nothing that's really sustainable. And then entry wise over here, if we're looking and we're kind of zooming out, so let's zoom out a little bit more. We're zooming out here. Structure is very healthy everywhere else. All of this is rebalanced, mitigated, all of this oil movement. We have a higher time frame that the market can trade into. Trading into this gap, in my opinion, it seems relatively inevitable. So working our way over towards 110, scaling into 109 makes sense. First target intraday is looking towards 99.40, 99.30s, 99.50s, possibly going to 99.100. But yeah, right now we're looking at kind of how this is playing out. The market clears the low, builds some good structure above this on the 5-minute. So now we're immediately working our way back down. If you look over, right, if we go to the left, then you can kind of look at pinpoint, okay, where have we seen good reversals? You've seen good reversals around 96.54, 96.20s. Just kind of all of this zone looks really, really consistent for reversals. That's why I like the buys where I have it marked up here. We've just seen a lot of historical evidence that the market likes to reverse in this area right there. This is a great zone. I think with New York open here in about 20-ish minutes, get a little something. I did break the consistency rule again. Wow, gotta make $100. Sick. All right, so silver pushing higher. We weren't approaching a shakeout with silver, so we stayed out of that. Gold working its way up to the zone, kind of retracing initially up to here. So I know there was a potential idea on selling gold, especially now that silver took out the high. So I could understand the sells there, but like I mentioned, if I'm going to go with either gold or indices, I don't really see the point of being in both since they move similar. I am more open-minded to looking for shorts with Dow rather than looking for shorts with gold here. That's at least my preference. I mean, if you see the setup on gold and you want to take it, be my guest. Because what we could see is instead of Dow going for the pullback over here right now, maybe it just wants to dump lower. And one thing too that I'm just noticing here, I know I mentioned it earlier, but make sure you're taking a look at YM, not just MYM. MYM makes a really big move down here, so you have a slippage here, and this might lead you to taking a trade that you shouldn't, because price actually never really did this where the bigger money is playing. Smart money doesn't play with micros. Just think about it that way. Gold doing its thing though. Anyone take gold? Gold shakeout? Anyone was just feeling that one instead and going, you know what, like, I'm gonna just trade a bit more independently from between gold and indices and Maybe you're preferring that out of curiosity here. Let me double check. I have alerts for this actually. Give me a sec, y'all. Honestly, too, one other thing that I guess I haven't mentioned is that with the way that we're seeing oil move, and there being, in my opinion, another opportunity here on oil, if oil is going to dump down to here, then it seems like we're going to get gold going higher and indices going a bit higher too. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna stay. I'm for sure staying out of metals for now. Maybe something independent a little bit later. Let me go. Let me check out what's good, chat. House renovation coming along nicely. Awesome, man. I'd like to MC out the lower zone before taking a shake out on indices. Yeah, got tagged out of 2R. Nice. So you moved stop loss up because once price broke up, gave no demand. Exactly, Lonzo. Carlos, you're in there. You're in gold cells. And then Isaiah, you're in there too. Break even. What stops at break even? Okay. All right, get it, guys. Get it. Come on. This could be nice. Got a nice little gold trend line going over here. Ooh. I love Fridays. Yup. Yeah, I'm actually so behind on just congratulating you guys. Like I haven't posted Shelby's payout. I haven't shout out to Shelby, man. Shelby is a silent killer. Every 2 weeks, just pulling from FTMO. If y'all see FTMO go down, just know it was Shelby's fault. So yeah, shout out to Shelby for the payout. Evan 3 times funded. In that nice territory over there. Sophia, Greg, I think I'm forgetting somebody. Huh? Carlos, I think he got funded last week. Everyone just, got funded last week. Every week, just more and more greatness around here. We love to see it. You said oil shorts potentially from London high. Oil, I didn't see oil shorts. All right, let's see. Ooh, oil is oil making a comeback? How dare you? The audacity. Yeah, no, I mean I see what you see. You're looking for a little something over here. I was looking for exits in this zone. You have the market trade up to here. Drop. I'm not convinced on oil yet for this short. It's just because of the structure. Like the 5-minute structure is pretty weak right now. But all 3 times it's broken below, it's kind of climbed right back up. So I don't love the structure yet on oil for the sell. I mean, the 1 minute went bearish, so it's definitely possible. Is stream only lacking for me? Sometimes lacking. I mean, it's possible, dude. I don't know. Y'all can let me know. let's see. Let me see if I can close anything else out. It's as good as it's gonna get, to be fair. Yo, I just got an email on. Yeah, if y'all haven't used your 40% off on Tradeify for their 3.0 promo, check that out. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what I don't think this one has the banners or nothing, right? For Tradeify. Nah, but they're doing 40% off. It's pretty sick. Obviously, make sure it's within your budget. Y'all should have be very intentional with how you spend when you're wanting to accumulate cash flow through doing this. Just kind of blindly throwing money at props and live accounts isn't necessarily the answer. So being intentional, knowing what kind of frequency, what kind of rhythm. Once you guys are in, you're operating at a profit with payouts, obviously it gets a bit easier to scale your capital and do all that good stuff. But yeah, if you want to take advantage of promotions, then check it out, run it up. I think you could use it up to 5 times. Pretty sick. And I do think that includes instant fundeds. Not to say that not everyone. I don't think it is for everybody. But if you are the disciplined one, then definitely check it out. I think the promo ends. Oh, it's actually all month. All right, so there's no rush, guys. No rush. And then I know they're also using TradeC. Has anybody been using TradeC as a copy trader? I'm using Tradecopia, which has been really cool. But I see TradeC is kind of like having these kind of baked into a lot of these other ones. So, man, as soon as I start checking one out, it's like another one comes out, and I gotta stay on top of things. So, but I believe it's only with Rhythmic, so I'm not really gonna be doing all that. And then for anyone here that's kind of a newer into trading and you want to like get kind of past the demo stage, then I know it's like $65 for Tradeify accounts. It's actually 60, the growth ones. 59 for 25k accounts. And then for Lucid, they're like 70. So pretty nice, dude. Like the ROI on a 25k is actually fire. It maybe doesn't feel the same with your ego because you want to go for the bigger ones. But of all the accounts, the 25Ks technically are the easiest to pass. The 25K Lucid is the easiest one to pass, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check because I'm not. Let me double check this real quick. No, they're actually the same. Yeah, the 25K is a 1.5. You risk, so it's 1,000 drawdown to make 1,500. So it's like the same as the 50Ks, but obviously you're just paying less. Not too shabby. All right, I'm gonna set my limit on I think I'm just gonna keep it like this for now. But look at this build up. I don't think this is a coincidence that we have all of this build up right before New York Open. Break and retest buyers are definitely loading up right before we get to the good stuff. Right before this New York Open. At this point now, we have enough demand. Enough liquidity built up to entice buyers. Shakeout. Qualify. Now the only thing left, honestly, is just which indice is best positioned for it. Like which is going to be the least bullish. So that we don't even have a 38.2 pullback yet on this or anything. On Dow, let's see, NQ. Also big chilling. Both of these are just minimal movement to the upside. Let me zoom out a little bit. Dow has been giving us lower highs. Fill the imbalance. The sell out of here was super clean. Meanwhile, S&P and NQ instead already cleared the highs before working its way. NQ doing a very textbook break and retest from structure from the high. So this is definitely luring in a lot of buyers. Let's see. Federal Reserve just dropped a notice for selected interest rates at 4:15 p.m. today. For selected interest rates. Okay. Stop profit gold. Nice. 25K feels way easier than the 150K, I'm not gonna lie. Well, one, because it is. Like the actual challenge evaluation is easier. You get 4,500 risk to make 9,000, so you have to make twice as much as your drawdown. Whereas with the 25K and the 50Ks, it's like you only have to make 1.5 times more. So 2K drawdown, 3K profit, 1,000 drawdown, 1,500 profit. So it is easier. Would you rather get in on YMM versus MYM? I would, because of slippage. I would prefer that. But it's, for example, how much you're risking. It's not as precise with minis, since like 10 micros are one mini. So you can do, 7 micros, 4 micros. You can kind of split it more precise. Slippage is usually worse with high impact news, not as much with the open. Yeah, the bigger size accounts they're not different. Like it's not like you're doing anything different, but it's okay, the cost of the account. So that can create, artificial pressure. And then you're going to trade the account probably for a little bit longer. There's numbers that you're not maybe used to seeing. So if you're risking, a couple $100 more than usual, your perception of money might be different as well. Am I still in I am a cat? Bro, that company doesn't even exist. They've been gone for like a year. But even before that, no, we launched Tradetopia. We launched Tradetopia to the public, to everybody for free. It's been 11 months, I think, just about to date. We should have a birthday party. Yeah, we're going to plan a birthday party, guys. It's going to be epic. Mike, do you have a position size calculator for futures? I actually do, and I totally forgot I did, and I never released it. That's hilarious. I am a goofball. That's hilarious. But yeah, I have that for you, and then there's other ones that exist, so you can just kind of look it up. All right, let me double check here between Ooh, NQ holding better now than Dow. The plot thickens, folks. The plot thickens. What's it gonna be? Oil went back to do the thing. Really? Yeah. Oh. Oh, you little devil. That's okay. I'm very much okay with how that was managed. S&P big chilling. Honestly, this might be one of the ones where like you kind of split the difference, take an S&P, and you're just chilling. NQ here now. No, NQ just looks better. NQ trading all the way down to here. If we zoom out, we go 5 minutes super quick on the fly here. Oh man, we're looking higher time frame mitigation, way over here. Got the job done. So here's how you can approach this. There's two ways to do this. You're either just convicted on price action right now, or you just let it open and you have both set up. So let me just show you real quick what I mean here. Alright, you have both set up like this. Let me just delete this. I gotta clean this up. So notes are gonna go away, guys. Oh, this is being a little flip-flopper. Gotta love it. Gotta love the markets, man. Can never make life too easy for you. That would be, you know, that would be asking for just way too much. Alright. Less than 30 seconds out. You have shakeout positions. One's going up, one's going back down. Limits can be set. Right now, Dow is kind of chilling a little bit further down. NQ is coming right back up. Dow higher time frame has been a bit more bearish. So either you split your risk, you wait for the open. More than likely it's going to spike. So I'm going to go ahead and just make a decision here. And I'm going to do one of these bad boys. And we're off. All right. Dow is the better position here. It's not spiking as much. Oh, no, it didn't trigger us in. Fuck. The audacity. And Q would have triggered in. Dow, not enough steam. Sad. So we see the sweep of liquidity trades right into here and works its way down, tackling on the lows here. I'm going to delete this limit because it is now breaking those lows. So I'm deleting my limits here. 20 contracts would have been very nice. But now we've taken out these liquidity here, and this could push a little bit lower. So if this does run, maybe we get a secondary entry. That can be a possibility, but not the case. If any of you got triggered in, congratulations. I would be tightening my stop. The market has broken these lows, giving a nice move here, but I just was not precise enough today, my friends. NQ still pushing even higher. Wow. And Dow is like, nah. Look at that beauty right there. Sending. If this is dumping, that means oil pumped, huh? Oil must have pumped. And then did gold drop too or no? It did go higher, but pump might be a little excessive. Okay. Alright, that's cool. Let's see, metals. Metals looks like they just kind of kept climbing. Okay, nothing really crazy. Honestly, gold is pretty decent though. Like, gold's been holding it down. Hold on. Gold shakeout. Oh man, I wish I would have seen this like 2 seconds ago. But it didn't break the highs. Silver kept going higher. And then now these are starting to lose steam. Gold isn't bad. Honestly, gold short is not terrible. But I think the best setup here is just waiting for Dow to come back, because Dow definitely did leave something here. Dow clears some highs and then goes, all right, we out. And then, or maybe I just shouldn't be a pussy and just take this gold sell because now it's in profit. Look at it. It looks nice. Like, it does look like it's gonna want to tank. Look at this. A lot of liquidity right here. Got the pump, consolidation. Oh my god, Dow. We nailed it. Says the guy who's not in the trade. What a good analyst. Alright, well, the 4R would have been clean. London low swept. If you're in Dow, well done. Well done, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. We'll just, this is here, just gonna, as a reminder of what could have been. This is, you weren't good enough, pal. But, yeah, what a bleed out. Hey, someone in here, tell me you got this thing. TP hit. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Nick. Fire. In the Dow. Ooh, Shelby. Come on. Nah, profit. That would have been TP for me. That'd be a wrap for me. So now let's see what this has to show for it. Honestly, the setup on gold was there. The shakeout was there. Obviously, Dow had a lot more to do, so I was preferring that. Between gold and silver, definitely gold was the trade, and we could have just traded it right here. We had time to. We had the ability to. This trade would have been like 1 and change. This is hitting a trend line again, so this is building up a lot of liquidity. If we work our way back up again on gold, if we get like one more pullback, I think I might pull the trigger on it because we have a lot of this liquidity to take out. So yeah, let's see if we can get something here, and then I would just kind of approach it like this. Well, let me zoom out here. Don't go chasing waterfalls. All right, gold with the trend line break. Well, it looks pretty smooth. So remember we talked earlier about gold buys, right? So the gold buys still look clean, in my opinion. We got these marked up. Structure wise, we've done a pretty good job here. We didn't just, like, we've been maintaining. I don't know why I still have 2 charts up. We don't need 2 charts up. There's nothing, no more like urgent movement. But anyways, yeah, that would have been, I mean, would have been the trade. If you guys had a less aggressive entry than me on Dow, then hopefully you guys made some money on that bad boy. All right, liquidity swept with S&P, and then I just want to see NQ. Does NQ have any buy setups? Let's see. Because if anything's gonna buy, it would be NQ. But I don't know if there was a setup. I don't really remember seeing anything here. Rebalanced. Okay, that's about it though. Nah. There's nothing great here. The trade, yeah, the trade is just the next setup really would be the Dow short. If you are gonna hold this for an extended period on down out some profit in these key levels, I think it's just practical. Just because you don't know if it's gonna be here. This could take this out, work its way up, and then get down there later. So gold coming up. Yeah, I'm not gonna take gold though because it already swept liquidity, so I'm not chasing gold. We already had it took out the incentive that it had here, so I don't really see the need to trade it anymore. Like it already did the spike down, and then it just didn't hold any of this. So we already cleared this. So I don't really feel like, oh, let me take this trade now. If we wouldn't have cleared it, then I'd be a little bit more interested. That's me. Obviously, if you guys see it differently, do your thing. You don't got to do what I do. Do what makes sense to you. But, yeah, I think this is not a sign of bearishness. Yeah, YM sells if price holds lower. For sure. Let's see where oil is. Let me just see if I'm gonna be kicking rocks here. Okay, oil liquidity sweep again, round 2. All right, so to recap, the big thing is oil buys at this lower level. Below, in my opinion, we're below 96, below 96.70. I'm liking oil buys. Got alerts for that. We got staying out of metals after further review. That's where I'm at with that. Big chillin'. And then Dow has left here a very nice mitigation potential. So we'll see. It has swept the London lows right now. And Q also just swept some of this liquidity. So all of this like post CPI lows actually basically just made equal lows again with after CPI. So I think we're gonna probably break below this. This doesn't look great. I wouldn't go for too much over here. Like this looks just really mid. Trend line basically here with NQ. Dow kind of giving some sort of shakeout vibes, but considering how much more bearish it is, it wouldn't be my first choice. 6J shakeout. Let's go check it out. I haven't really looked at majors at all. Looks like the yen spiked up with pre-CPI, but it's already kind of breaking this low a little bit, so not quite. I mean, yeah, I see it. Takes this out. It's chopping up in here. I see your point. Mitigation right here, basically. Well, if this would have held the highs or the lows, would have been a bit more convinced. And then, but in comparison to these other majors, let's see. This is pushing up, just cleared liquidity. So like 6S takes out the highs, drops. NZD over here, making lower highs possibly. Euro just cleared out equal highs up here. CAD just working its way higher. So you know what is giving a good setup right now is actually the shakeout on the pound. The pound finally is making this move. Kind of like we had the last move up into this imbalance, and oh, actually it already did that right there. Trades it, comes back up one more time. Majors are a little tricky. Majors are a little tricky right now if you're comparing a whole bunch of these. It looks like sells are possible, but just, you know, keeping in mind so many, it's definitely not one to just rush into. I think it's really worth just keeping in mind, looking across the board, taking your time with this, and then you can find some opportunities. Did we like oil sell from 99.70? I want to see what oil is going to do. So I haven't made a decision on oil quite yet. Let's see. All right. So, yeah, guys, I mean, right now, the more time that Dow spends trading lower, the more probable a sell can be later on. Especially if it's like just genuinely later in the day and it's not something that happens super quick, then the short is, you know, pretty promising. Let's see, gold back and forth and back and forth. So if you were convinced on the sell here with gold, then looks like it's going pretty well. Since it broke this trend line, I was kind of like a little bit less enticed on it. I was like, all right, cool. We kind of saw some of the liquidity capture, so maybe that was enough. But looks like that might not be the case. And then with oil, to give you the recap that I gave Caius, the 5-minute structure isn't quite there yet. The 1 minute isn't bad. So 1 minute kind of giving the lower low is decent. Maybe worth a half risk for me. And especially because I do think that we can work our way down to here still. So maybe this is what it takes to work its way all the way down. So a short here for oil, I think the probability of it failing is there. So I'm not going to go full risk. But the risk reward on the trade is actually pretty solid. And so going half risk can still give a pretty good gain. So over a 4.74 R, even at half risk is 2 and change. That's pretty good. So yeah, those are my thoughts, guys, on the market. We'll wrap up there. Great week. I know, today you were in position to make some money with oil. This is pumped nicely. I got a little under a 1R collected on this. Wasn't enough to pass an account. And then from there, trade management wise, I'm very much cool with how I manage this, so not really tripping about it going past where we originally had it. Dow didn't quite trigger me in. I know some of you got to take, actually we had 2 Dow shorts. The first Dow short that we should have been in, I didn't prepare it quickly enough. So the first one was with CPI trading at the top, at the exact top, in this little imbalance, in this little pocket right there. So that would have been a sexy sell. And then we had the shakeout here. My entry was a little bit higher, missed that. So yeah, apparently today I was really good at looking at charts, and that's all I was really good for. And this is continuing to dump. So looks like this order block isn't really going to do too much either, and this is just going to keep going. So if you're holding this, God bless your souls. Awesome, guys. Well, if you are, looking to be an amazing analyst and I guess a good enough trader, then, and just being real, for today at least, even though yesterday, yes, we did snipe this Dow buy that ended up running substantially, but did catch over 3, about a 4R on this or something like that. But anyways, if you want to have a more hands-on approach to your trading journey and you want to join us here in the syndicate and have live feedback, have a strong transformational program you're a part of, and not just be stuck in the same place you've been stuck on for years and months, then I strongly behoove you to join us. It is, in my opinion, the best trading development program you could be a part of. But you don't have to take my word for it, because we have more than enough proof of concept with the traders that are here. So click this link that I'm dropping if you want to be awesome like us. But if you want to just be awesome by yourself, that's also cool too. But in my opinion, being around proof that things can grow prosperously is a good place to be. Got to get around the right environment. So click that link, book the call, check out what our 1-year transformation program looks like. Otherwise, just keep hanging out with us over here, because we do this every single trading day, unless I'm asleep for 12 hours like I was a couple days ago, or we're on a flight or something. But yeah, much love, guys. Awesome week. Let the market come to you. Maybe you didn't get what you wanted out of the market today, and guess what? There's going to be another trading day. I know, crazy, right? There's going to be another trading day. There's going to be another trading week. There's going to be another setup. And so let the market come to you, and don't force anything. All right. So much love, y'all. Have an amazing rest of your trading day. We'll be in the school community, and there's hundreds of you that are in there. So get in there. Share your setups. If you have any thoughts, questions, comments, concerns on something that you see, just go chop it up. Go chop it up with the homies in there. And everyone's always down to show love, give feedback, and everyone's coming from a great place, right? This isn't some degenerate Discord with attention spans the length of goldfish, and you guys are in the right place to just trade like professionals, be mature and emotionally intelligent. And hey, even if your attention span is like a goldfish, you know what? That's also a skill. So one day you can be a whale in the ocean of traders. So take care, y'all. Peace.